Welcome to this video on Red Hawk vs. Ponca Nation Gaming Commission, Case No. 2024 AP089, before the Court of Appeals of the Ponca Nation. This video is part of a legal education series focused on tribal due process, employment law, and constitutional law within the Ponca Nation's legal framework. The core conflict in this case is a termination dispute, examining the balance between modern labor practices, the application of at-will employment, and indigenous governance. The appellant is Nita Red Hawk, a floor manager at the Ponca Nation Gaming Facility. The appellee is the Gaming Commission, the nation's regulatory oversight agency. Ms. Red Hawk served as floor manager for 4 years, managing operations and compliance with consistently positive performance evaluations and no prior disciplinary record. The triggering event was an investigation into an alleged breach of security protocols in the restricted drop count room on October 12, 2023. Ms. Red Hawk defended her actions, citing verbal authorization from a shift director. Following the incident, the Gaming Commission issued an immediate termination. This administrative action contained procedural deficiencies, including no prior notice, no formal hearing, and no opportunity for Ms. Red Hawk to respond to the allegations. The Ponca Nation District Court granted summary judgment in favor of the Gaming Commission. The court's rationale cited Ms. Red Hawk's at-will status, concluding there was no property interest, no due process trigger, and applying statutory deference to the Gaming Employment Ordinance. On appeal, 2 main issues are presented. First, whether the district court erred in finding no property interest in continued at-will employment, and second, the role of tribal custom in interpreting the gaming ordinance. Point of error number 1 argues that at-will status does not eliminate all due process protections. Fundamental fairness, tribal sovereignty, and the right to be heard remain core tenets of Ponca tradition. Supporting argument number 2 draws on the Loudermill precedent, stating that due process mandates pre-termination notice and a hearing for cause-based actions, ensuring procedural fairness. Supporting argument number 3 addresses the Roth liberty interest. When stigmatizing charges are made, a name-clearing hearing is required to protect an individual's reputation and community standing. Point of error number 2 contends the district court erred by ignoring the mandatory application of Ponca tribal law. Ponca custom mandates fairness, dignity, and the right to face accusers before termination. Jurisdictional precedents like Santa Clara Pueblo versus Martinez emphasize the exclusive authority of tribal courts to interpret their customs. Talton versus Mays confirms tribal due process is distinct from federal standards. The competing theories are the appellant's fundamental fairness theory, arguing stigmatizing termination requires due process, versus the respondent's sovereign autonomy theory, asserting that at-will status plus immunity precludes judicial review. Red Hawk versus Ponca Nation Gaming Commission presents a crucial conflict. The appellant stresses individual liberty, the right to be heard, and the integration of tribal tradition. The respondent emphasizes sovereign governance, administrative efficiency, and legislative authority to secure the nation's interests. This case defines the balance between tribal business efficiency and constitutional fairness for tribal citizens.